Welcome back to Taste This. I'm Josh, and this is August. we're having we're having a good time, obviously. And today we're going to introduce you guys to something new. What are we going to taste today, bud?
Larva.
A larva. Pretty funny stuff here. So what kind of larva? What kind of larva is this? You want to give them? You want to show it to them?
Mealworm larva.
Mealworm larva. Let's show it to everybody. So here we go. You can actually see that's the larva in there. Okay, this is packaged, and they call them larvettes. And
That's weird.
we did a little bit of research on these, and we found out that this type of larva is actually called mealworm larva, like you said, bud. And the mealworm larva turns into what kind of beetle? Do you remember the name? It's called the darkling beetle. And this particular type of beetle, what kind of things does this beetle eat, bud? Why do they call it a mealworm?
Because it eats oatmeal and flour.
Oatmeal, flour, cornmeal, basically anything that's been ground up, and it gets into the containers of flour and things like that, and it will eat the meal, right? And so they call it a mealworm. Okay, all right. Now, what is the nutritional benefits of eating mealworms? What are the mealworms made up of? And two things in particular this time. One thing in particular, I suppose, really surprised me. There's two things that make up the majority of mealworms. Do you remember what they are?
Protein and fat.
Protein, like we saw with earthworms and with lots of other insects, and then fat. I didn't really think of insects and worms as being fatty, but evidently mealworms are pretty high in fat. So about 53% protein and 28% fat. And who eats these? Where in the world do people eat mealworms? Do you remember, bud?
No.
Okay, well, Thailand is one. This is, I think, a specialty out in Thailand. They'll serve them on a plate. And then Mexico is another place that I think people might be familiar with eating these. They're also used in pet food, so with reptiles, birds, fish. I guess you can get these at the pet store. So we're basically eating pet food, bud. Did you know that? All right, so without further ado, let's open them up and let's give it a try. Now, these particular type of larvae actually have barbecue flavoring on them. So we might be masking the taste of this larva quite a bit with barbecue flavor, but we'll kind of give you a sense of what they taste like and the texture. All right, bud. What does it smell like?
Yummy.
It smells yummy. Yeah. Okay. Whoa.
There you go.
Wow. All right, guys. Take a look at that. That is a mealworm larva, and we're about to try it. You ready? Down the hatch. 1, 2, 3. That is kind of interesting. Kind of a nutty flavor to it. It's obviously pretty crunchy. They're dried and cooked. Yeah, very, very sort of nutty flavor, I would say. Obviously, a little bit of barbecue flavoring to it. So you can, again, see sort of the texture to it. It looks kind of hollow in the middle, so really I think we're just eating more or less the shell or the exoskeleton of the larva, and maybe some of the insides of it. But has a very distinct flavor profile. The best thing I can relate it to is maybe sort of a nut with, and it's almost aerating your mouth as you crunch on it and release all the inside flavor. I would say
eat all of them.
I would say something between like a nut and a pea, but very sort of very strong flavor to it. Actually, not too bad. In our research, we saw
That's
that
the earthworm jerky was worse than this one. This one is actually way
this
better.
this one's I think way better than the earthworm jerky. I agree. Some people say that they replace this for nuts and other things. So I could see how they would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. What do you think, bud? Overall, do you like it? Would you eat it again?
Yep.
Yep.
Would you?
I might actually take another bite of it. Not saying that I'm gonna eat it every day, but
I am.
you are.
Here we
Actually,
go.
these are one of the things that I would, if between the earthworm jerky and this, I would definitely recommend the larva. It's not quite so bad as earthworms. All right, bud. Well, thanks again for watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave comments. Maybe you have some ideas of what we could be eating, and just let us know what you think. Thanks a lot.